The person is driving.
Yes, it's a national concern.
From Christian Village Junction.
Yes.
Okay, on his way from Denver. Yes. And then all of a sudden, there are sirens everywhere.
Yes.
Is that how to invite somebody?
No.
Because there wasn't an official invitation to him prior to Sadia na Womokoye.
Yes.
Exactly. So what was the meaning?
All right, abusia mami mo bibia kwa ba. Enti endra anajo ena yeti say national security apike Okatakyie Afrifa mensa our host for the record Ninseya Angel TV ne Angel FM yewura Dr. Kwaku Otin opan no free ne dwuma mu na abusia the reasons why Urano was arrested and detained by the national security no yebeko nyekwakuti enseni emu enchire mu abusia for there is more details about it. So mobekaya encheye eno Okatakyie Afrifa tena ne YouTube platform so emeki allegations be about galamsey issues. Sansem no yenko na yenkotie ensen emu enchire mu ankasa. Kesben FM Mr. Speaker any ziga eno moma e sa details no any sa nema bia e course. In fact, a whole lot of things are been added to this story. Yes, we
are told over 60 something excavators has been seized so far. Now there is an order, a clear order. Say which excavator man, I mean, submitted to the high officers. Woman debate me abo by and me who some posts. Now remember, minister is 7 out of 9. Major forest galamsey for Ajia nanka forest guards for Entimi Enkohono ene abaya timi asa geneba my interior minister Emmanuel Amakofibua na Yemra.
Okay. I was alarmed at the devastation of our forest reserves that prompted me to make a statement on this floor of parliament on the state of our forest reserves and water bodies and a call on the people of Ghana, including the members of parliament, to join in this fight to reclaim our forest reserves. At the time, I had stated that 9 of these forest reserves where armed thugs had taken over and are considered to be no-go areas, included Jimera, Detention, Biziri, Afao Hills, Kano Ahia, Ofin Shelter Belt, Ahunwasu East, Ahiasu South, Subu River, Asenanyo River. Mr. Speaker, I am very happy to announce that with the support of the military working closely with the Forestry Commission, we have been able to flush out the task from 7 out of the 9 forest reserves. We are on course to reclaim the last 2 as well as we speak. This notwithstanding, surveillance is being kept at all these 7 reclaimed forest reserves to ensure that they are not re-invaded. Mr. Speaker, currently, through collaboration with the military over the last 3 weeks, we have, as I stated earlier in my other question, seized a lot of equipment, and I won't be repeating shows here. Mr. Speaker, in addition to the above, my ministry is working closely with the Forestry Commission to source for support to procure key logistics such as 4x4 vehicles, motorbikes to improve mobility of officers.
That is Minister in charge of Lands and Natural Resources, the Honorable Emmanuel Amakofibua, Elembelem Rashid on the ticket of the NDC, reporting to the Parliament. I mean, the one wire so far about the galamsey. And the reality on the ground, we'll talk about it. Mame Enshen Kobona say in free ho na mintie a year ura ade na yenshasi in free home. Pacho Shade Sobame said the Honorable Daniel Kwesi Ashama will be joining us to have this conversation. Na yetimi edin kombo anope. Ade, Mame Brown na mintio for 10 minutes.
Okay, Medasipi. I believe the galamsey no mine no yewo crisis see on my moon I try to us with the water bodies and the forest now saying no affect yare bebra eminenti ba yina no as a result of the chemicals you use mining areas enye designated for mining. Even on the river bodies, there are meters you need to move away from.
Exactly, 100 meters.
That's right. And then the forest too is a no-go area. I quite remember I said President Akufo-Addo issue command to the ministry, say nobody should mine in the forest. It was a very difficult task, although people already now on licenses, some were even revoked. Or no year one say I was it me stop or my money na a dangerous aspect to us. And see you're politicizing I'll try be high adrenaline. But the I believe the honorable Kofi Amabua.
Yes.
And your kana why are there, but then we have not tackled the main issue as Galamsey. We have responsible mining, which is designated areas for applier omoyai. We need to first of all enforce the laws and regulations from the Mineral Commission and the ministry at large. There are already existing laws. Now we need to also look at livelihood, alternative livelihood. We haven't tackled that one. So Galamsey issue no was so high. Okay, machines here occurs omojia onam famra no me yin. It is still by a we saw machines from our time at Yeji. I perceived because I don't have the real data, but I heard it. I'm reading yes, many two were kept at Butchie. Omokrama rent me contain Omonyan to me can me contain my rent security for no timon until last ministry record morable bua and I made my security for an normal cabin containers I'm renting. I see. And for 2 years I haven't been paid. But the main issue is that alternative for our youth we will still engage into Galamsey, which is very bad. And they had calling for a court say they should give actions, only actions man. So say only Galamsey you look at the aggressiveness of these guys on the mining sites. So one, we need to look at alternative ways, giving them alternative ways. One, our approach. Do we have a proper education for the mining communities in affected areas? Do we was here forums? We haven't been able to do that.
But Felix, the party you belong to and the government, that just left power.
That's right.
Did most of these things you are talking about.
That's right.
Galamsey and Ankosiaga. After all the forums are more called University of Mines and Technology, after all the suspension, they told small scale mining. So for 2 years or more, after all the excavators, Galam stop. Galamsey, at the latter part of your government, Galamsey was so intense. And where do we begin from? The methods
it was because one, Yankasa politicized Galamsey, making it very difficult to combat Galamsey, because government's inaction to deal with the issues of Galamsey, a lack of political will, and that is what I'm seeing now. Because with the MPP and make and now the Danko Akufo-Addo, yet 30 years here fighting Galamsey, it was the whole nation. Like you mentioned, some of other organizational groups are on back together on my fight this system. One. Say forums now your minds these are we are talking about the affected areas. Your fans are Amona Praso. You go to Amona Praso, they are the indigenous people. 18 hours calling for say yede ahemfo ebeka sabord no, because before you go and even mine from the Mineral Commission there are processes you go through and you do responsible mining. That is why the MPP administration, the candidate Dr. Bawumia, a proposal say we should get a gold detector to avoid degradations. The indigenous people are saying, say foreigners are mining. This is a contest. Say foreigners are mining. Why don't you allow us? That is why they go into this small scale. The small scale we're talking about, if we are during our time, being introduced to what we call community mining, which could have also kept. Say the indigenous people will have this thing, and then they are for the area and the assemblyman. DCE, the opinion leaders themselves from the community now training no minds na good there, but the indigenous people no do na ebetimi at radio as ma kan do na ebeti obi on na nya bre kwakwa gala, but say community wo na friend na nanfo no as a mining company. That's what you do. The first thing to do is to engage the community on a community forum, educate them with the Mineral Commission. It's Mineral Commission for the better on acquire on Mefaso, baby, I want some more before you even get your mining list. Mean ya share environmental impact assessment. There are a lot of assessments that must be done. But right now we're talking about our forests and then the water bodies that are being polluted. But the fault is that we haven't been able to look at alternative livelihood, just like we're giving ABI Sinapco was an alternative livelihood for our youths.
And it was a step-gap measure, what they buy, but I don't know.
It's good. It has challenges.
It had a timeline, 3 years, and I must say, good policy, you know.
Youth in agriculture, which could have also been okay as a national policy. They are all driving at Inyuma. So we should be looking at a livelihood where we can also create other priorities. Farming, most of these areas are farming communities. So we are talking about the challenges we face in Galamsey, but we are not looking at the deep roots of the causes. It is a causes near to me attack here. Although the MPP government started this things, by then we thought it should have been strengthened.
Now, fellas, how do you correspond your work to the fact to say Abaya Obaya now say we are committed to fighting Galamsey? To a far extent, President Akufo-Addo and then the presidency eto on the line. We are seeing number legislative instrument 2462. Okay, LI 2462.
That's right.
Say a young granted concessions in the forest areas. Now, Utie Minister Emmanuel Abakofi-Boa, I mean, those kind of concessions are your granted, your licenses are your granted, after December 17 has been revoked. Okay, the people were telling you, say, revoke that particular airline because a no-na air allow man for the opportunity to enter the forest. Your government did nothing about this till some free by
I believe, say, with the airline, even if you said nothing, the beginning, to begin with, there were measures government put in place. If we want to politicize it too much, we will not end Galamsey today, we will end it tomorrow. But these were some of the measures MPP Dubai, Operation Hot, Operation Hot.
Yeah.
We had it floors. Are they not state agencies? They are state agencies. Stop Galam for ya. They are all military men trained dispatched to the various sectors. We fought and then it became challenges. Say, we had people during the election in our main where some of the constituencies are MP lost because of these Galamsey issues, and that's the fact that the opposition then, now the ruling party, some of them were in the mining areas, encouraging them that when they come, they will allow them to do Galamsey. Now MPP are buying the go Galamsey. How do you want to fight this battle when you go out there and incite these boys at the sites? That is why I am calling for alternative livelihood. Say a challenge to the nation. It's a security threat to the nation. So we should rather look at areas are best strengthen your youth in the mining areas. In the forum now by then we should do the local dynamics like yesterday.
Okay.
People voted us out because they thought you were just pointing out some figures. Although we have come out with some other alternatives, we did not yield much fruit by in a good beginning. It is a to me as a nation we will stop Galamsey. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
But
Speaker.
your microphone never with him. Now, I'm to say,
Oh, yeah.
you're looking good.
Ah, by your grace. By your grace. When you are designing, Otinfa. Yeah, Otinfa.
KJB.
Ah, KJB. Oh, just a walking distance.
KJB. Matro Abrania so TV no banti ajawaba dey den no am.
Train with the anyone.
Oh, David. See me shout and me shout.
But I'm pumped to say,
Oh, me here.
and I trade your passing. I'm going to say,
Whether no shall send yeah, dog.
Odo. O party will be more than the other can say.
Oh, now everybody in the government must. This regime is Operation Feed Yourself. Operation Feed Yourself. As a so be a domi, Miss Robia, me bon coco.
I see.
I'm ranting canteen can design my own video. Go and have a farm. I am so calm. Go and have some farm and stop talking. The Kasana Yakodo. Now, to grow. Everybody is allowed to talk, but remember when you talk finish, you must eat.
Exactly.
That's right.
was a baby. I was say, oh, no, dear, oh, no more, and I would do a brand.
Every year, me, Brony Banchi.
I see.
A baby or Benny be. Now, I think I'm sure say cocoa. So, me to me, and yeah, but. Nemi di bomb who buy pa need ya near me family baby. Yeah, no dear. I don't joke with it. Every year, send me because anything can happen.
Okay.
If something happen, no one will cry and enjoy your friend when I'm going to show no. Mo nye bi ani bi.
Already ora mo dem ko body fa.
Mo nye bi ani ndi. Nti ma bedru. Me chow bia openyu bi chow.
Oh, yes, as in free galamsey Honda minister some level of statistics on the galamsey issues. Any baby here. Omoye adwuma no aba bedru. Mami ntio every ho.
Yo. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Acheti for nyina. You know, this galamsey issue, how do we solve it? And you need baby ayena. And this aba Rolling Stein, abako, Mampeniku abako, Atamus aba ako, First Mahama regime aba ako, Nanado aba ako. They say Mahama Saba, His Excellency. How do we solve this problem? And until yes, we've agreed everybody has a right to talk. And that means NDC about but we must ask ourselves question. What are the pragmatic steps that we are taking to solve this problem? We've adopted firefighting approach for far too long. That is too much. And then we accuse political parties, we accuse ourselves. And I say. But we are refusing to look at the processes that will let us mine our minerals in a very decent without damaging the environment. That is the problem we have today. Because look at the time Ananado Ebaye, almost say small scale mining. Then they took our money, say you be a community mining. And I want it. Honorable Duka Madamfo. Almost your mark of go catch her back room her. As I say, what was the end result? So you see that even that policy has failed. Ye ko election some me ba me tie mu ni na obi asem bia o kan matema bia me radio free I be dro ha. Ye ko election ye ka che MPP for say galamsey and me ba ha na was spread wa ha no. Omusi omunjimi Intinu 2020 no sana ye no ma lose seat intinu omunjai they allow the people to mine. They said it. And today is not my first day of being a media being at a media station.
Yeah.
I've been here for 8 years. Now, so how do we fight this? So we must adopt a strategy. Honorable Amakofi Buabaye no. Or can you say a number of forest reserves no you cannot enter because of these galamsey guys? Is that not one I want?
Yeah.
In the Okatakyie say out of a number no some has been reclaimed by the government and the security agencies. Is that a step going forward or backward? These are the things we should look at. Now, you see Yati water guards, the blue water, said they should be part of whistleblowers. MPP for some kwapai. Now, gold catcher. What was the results? What was the gold catcher results? Abysmal. So we need to stop the firefighting approach and adopt the bottom-up approach. During our campaign time. So in the mining business, we are going to give the power to the people on the ground, the grassroots, where the chiefs will be involved, the assemblymen will be involved, the district chief executive will be involved. They will be part of the approving authority for miners or for mining concessions.
Okay.
In that committee, the commission person, mineral commission person will be there to report directly to the minister This is bottom-up approach. Now, what does this mean? Say to me, yeah, Juma, or see, Wama, every district chief executive with jurisdiction. Say, so before constituency, it is your jurisdiction. Say, quiet be constituency and our district, it is your jurisdiction. So anything that goes wrong with the environment in terms of land or water, you, the district chief executive, are buying a you will be responsible. What do you think about this strategy? You will be responsible. It doesn't matter. Say me mankoji concession assassin. You have a duty to make sure, say, the work I am doing there in your municipality or district does not negatively have an impact on the environment. That is what it means. So let us question the strategy that is coming. Nobody is saying that the guys that they have been trained, they are going to arrest the what? The galamseyers. No. But behind, at the hindsight of it, these are the youth. Omu ye galamsey, omu for omuko galamsey pit no. Omu no mu di omuko. In this abba stop wa. My brother mentioned a word, livelihood. What will they eat? What will they eat? Those who are there. So you must find a way of handling them. I'm ranting baba on bekacho say ya stop galantinu ye nishi and ye duma biania. So let us get them involved. They should be part of fighting the galamsey menace. So it means the chiefs are involved, the assembly, the religious bodies, the district chief executive, the youth in the area, we are all involved to tackle the people who are coming to destroy the environment. Because this youth, any of him for nananu mo hono, and someone say honshua say no, me dan so nyan say wo oti region. I can still drink, but maybe I'm the military man that is sent there. So you must see me as a brother, because once I am there, so the cooperation is important. Another way a cooperation is important is say, who didn't free Otiriji, Ediko Wasana, West Region areas.
Yeah.
Even the language barrier can hinder the business. If you don't have a collaboration with the local people, if you don't have the collaboration with the local people, Mr. Speaker, in the over mikrom, make a mikrom kasabeti.
David.
So we are so janu se uba bechi obi wo mikrom. And I mean waka brofu sa amasi ukam when I mean who mikrom ni catch and say Kelly. Do you understand what is Kelly? So you need everybody, especially this youth. Omunim corners, nananumu nim corners, nini na galamsey dumano ekos. So that is the way we have to look at it. Then we look at those who be making anonymous statement. And then this when I say yes, I agree. I cannot say that NDC for, and I cannot say that MPP for soon count, and I cannot say that the Afra-Franton count. So if I say today that don't mention NDC, you better just say me NDC. They are Ghanaians. Let us deal with the problem.
Okay.
The problem is what we want to deal with and deal with it. And I evidence say, Obia say yem fighty into say this policy I could room pen so be obi dimirika gidi and no man stop me. Then you know what we are talking about. We want the water to be serene and clean again for us to use. So many years ago you go to the rivers and fish. The village where you are and there is a river, you can fish and eat. You can use what? Water. Drink it, use it in your community. That is what we are talking about today. Inti anamwa abayno eba. Obisa question. Eba muse na abaya osi ordinity at one was a creative law LI 2462.
Yeah.
Say yenko na yenko mine ewo forest reserves. So to them people don't have mouth to talk. They brought this law. They don't have mouth to talk. We want to take it out. And the bill has been laid on the floor. Mr. Speaker says 3 days time. Is that not it? We want to, the person who want to take that law out to stop the galamsey. We should have more say than the person who brought the law to go and mine in the forest area. Come on.
Very well.
So these are some of the things on the table. MPP phone, look, you can start your campaign today just as we have started. And some of us will follow you boot to boot. We will tell you where the truth is. And I urge my leaders, the appointees, just be focused. What is on the paper, the plan, follow it. Whatever any journalist says, you leave the person to be making his wild allegations. Yanchi Krause here, the uncle for Bowser. Who done that now again? They've invited you to come and prove what you are saying. And already, it is time, Okatakyie, it is time for you to be telling the truth. Every journalist has the right to talk. You have the right to say whatever you want to say. Because me who was picture with me, who say Uncle Bobby and some
picture they know who you know. I don't know you have to say you're releasing no. Until you saw oh, horrible.
Oh, maybe sir, I say
I'm saying sir.
No, David, me say you inviting who?
And I make sure we say me need the price. There no one
Mr. Speaker, you are the speaker of this house.
Exactly, but you're asking the question, so I need to respond. And I make sure that the picture you saw is the aftermath of the release. The car park, remember the car park at the Blue Gate, and no picture that we know. And I made sure we say, meaning the partner they were on the papa, then they came to pick him up. Which one again are you?
For about how many hours?
Explanation. For about 2 to 3 hours.
See a bon handcuff.
Of course, they came to pick him up.
This is on record. Keteche bon handcuff.
Handcuff.
And the
what was the cost of
No.
No, I'm just answering.
No. You cool. When it comes to your side, I'll come to you.
The person is driving. The person is driving.
Yes.
It's a national concern.
From Christian Village Junction.
Yes.
Okay. On his way from Tempa. Yes. And then all of a sudden, there are sirens everywhere.
Yes.
Is that how to invite somebody?
No.
Because there wasn't an official invitation to him prior to Sadia na Womoko yet.
Yes.
Exactly. So what was the meaning? I was
and
there.
now
you are not listening to
me. No, you say after
when the incident happened, I was the first to get there. When I got there, he was detained. Yes, you've seen it.
Yes.
And I made sure what has transpired. So
I said I have agreed. I am not against what you have said. But who catch them say, within 2-3 hours, now muko shower car park. And I mean this house say Keteche say no dien security agencies no dien.
No, I said the Obianka so mu
okay, also mu bisa no dien.
They asked him questions. And we asked. I went in there with lawyers. So Yaba, more detaining the panel. We want to see the charges leveled against him. Lawyers are here, they want to assist. Then they say that they were making comment on galamsey, so they want him to come and assist with investigation. Then we asked the question that if Nipana making comment on galamsey, said national security assisted people in doing galamsey. So you want to invite the person for further questioning. Is that the Rambo style and what they call Pekino and Najo after 8? That is the question. Of course.
No,
they drove the car and everything to Blue Gate. Exactly.
And our mom,
well, he wasn't even allowed to write anything. I mean, exactly. But in that spot, we were not there. The lawyers were not even present. And
all journalists are free to say what they want to say.
Exactly the point.
But the public need to be well educated.
That is the point.
On what has actually happened. Because stations, you see, some stations are saying it.
Exactly, but not here.
Those are some of the things. Galamsey no dey ever fight. You journalists will continue to talk. Campaign no yenim say ya sha se. Ya sha some people no niamu kan nyina say mache. Some sha se yeso ye be di mwenim na mo de yeche. Na ye ko because we na ya ye sa ma ye nsu asay. My mother, your brother, my brother, who don't have the opportunity to sit on air to talk, no. obi akase na yebo no de ena se na yebe ko no de ena yebe che no nyina Mr. Speaker obi am amechew. Because we are fighting. This is the right time I hear fighting galamsey.
Exactly, but I'm saying.
And a minister susu eye na ejuma. And obi susu say national security nu onu na ebu amankrofo eye galamsey. So they shouldn't ask him.
No, nobody has said they shouldn't ask. I mean, so what's your honorable? Nobody has said. What's your different commentaries? Other platforms.
Honorable, initially
the actual thing is what I've told you.
Yeah, initially, now if you say per your cousin, now I say you were doubting.
So initially, at the end, what you say?
But now you are confusing me, honorable. Respectfully, you are confusing me.
But
your initial remarks, now it looks like say. I say obina konkoto I say obina sheda criticize yachim no abra yenchi.
If it is so no
the later now
it's a dey no ma who picture bibia na meti entina be kan omocho mo bon handcuff no mo chi no de coin ba me hu a ono ni Mr. Speaker
the picture time ya no
da be no na me bisa speaker say die na ketechie ka kire no no na ekọ ketechie na ekọ
na be be me
bisa kete speaker say ketechie ka kire say ya bon handcuff say there be one kan and I want to say
babati o se ketechi abon handcuff
campaign no dey
ba wo hwe picture handcuff o hwe picture ye mon handcuff
no but that
me see na me just say picture ye after say you release no
say after no say wa bisa no so na gina say na omu be ye no Rambo side call ye inti no oye na danfo ana oye Ghana ne omu nyina ahia inti omu wie no say inside omu call ye no Mr. Speaker and coin inside
no he was upstairs
and na me bisa Mr. Speaker say kese chase o coin inside the bar ye na ye gbonu handcuff na o si there be one kan
kwabe President Mahama ma papa ministerial program the question office plan
me see campaign ya shase because campaign the person get fully got out
collection office na ye hoto ye collection office
me see me do
yes kwabe kitu abigalamsi assembly Kwame ye bede na ye be kan se biem isi de bia me ka se Kwame me galamse ntokwa be ka se mba kope honorable
honorable person who am crofom ye galamse I met yama no na
any there so pa betimi dia man no
Mr. Speaker then me see mean to me can say NDC phone and I mean to me can say NPP phone mean to me can say Afrafranto phone but they are all Ghanaians man can waha
exactly
that's all
and the law
so I'm not saying that NDC phone but they do there I did be say okrom hanu NDC for intimidate my penny but NDC for chino every another party for susu come this sana me susu me here no last year I say NPP for inti say Okatakyie say NDC for I can't say NDC for no I can't say
I like your principles.
Yes, I can say.
Now report about you.
Yes, Kwame. To say the year can was me. She said the way at the anything.
Yes,
Kwame, the senior year couldn't talk about the Kwame intimate. A fact. Ura Kufia Mabua, a choir of Fasua was chassis a walk on Tokwano.
Yeah.
Yahoo Bida. Kwame. Yahoo Bida. The President Rollins Bebe. The President Kufo Bebe, the President Mills Beye, President Mahama 1 Ebeye, Nanado Dan Kufa Beye, and a President Mahama 2 Abba. The President Mahama, Aye the Sician, Aye dear Kofa Yamana Kem, Kwame, Aye dear Kofa Yamana Kem. Our approach, see a pese. Your cook galamsey and pa approach you and approach. Yes, easy way, way, Kwame. A conquer for us at the beer. Kwame, it doesn't open the box of hope for us.
In solving the situation.
It wouldn't solve any problem. Kwame, I didn't know I can't was MCCR. I saw for count. A galamsey. Police, military, I him for count. District chief executives. Hardcore politicians.
Yes, sir.
Are part of it. Today, me no say. Bro, China ni bien wonuma onima ya nfere. What you who and that's what Shanghai. Akwa onum dum kwa fino. China ni bien wonum awe onum town numere forest. China ni bia no onum hafu Kenyase. China ni bia no onum Konongo. It is our own people that go there and the koko for omoba. Omo na di omu din sa wasro na koko for omoba. Kwame, the district chief executives, some of them are deeply involved in this exercise. Yedim. Our ambassadors are what China and the other nationals are about this country. Ebe mine no. What have you told them? And their measures near them all. Kwame, you were hania ahimfo airport libation. Emma ensure empes a ye fere say kabikas. Ensure seven projects will be conformed by Omuko so the Tibetiano. Ensure no pe kamikas yet. Kwame, yet me could the kamikas echo say no. A driver the spirit the ghost now and won't show them away. Aya himfo kunsa, it is clear. They make what I say, and the military men who shall be to say Erastus expose or ya. Ye ni military for a drama qua. Se kwa mo koko ye duma. E o ma tom hu bi eye galamsey bi. Today, you say na oko barracks. There are some military people that they wish to go to galamsey site. Se abo kwa come galamsey they are going to peacekeeping. Police for account. Men of God account. Then we are using the same approach from President Rawlings' time since Fourth Republic to now. How can we go do this to this country, Kwame?
Do you have some better suggestion?
Tie, Kwame. You amended the Mining and Natural Resource Act. You the minimum sentence from 5 years to echo 15 years. You the maximum from 15 years to 25 years. Still, people are still doing the galamsey. Kwame, your copper speedboat aba. A cost here is millions of dollars. 5 speedboats to strategic rivers. Birem, pra, any other arena. Still, people are mining. Enter a ministerial high committee. Kwame, Operation Hot, Operation Galamsey. Kwame, you are creating Operation military and police joint action. Yet, you are no results. Then you seize excavators. You are burning excavators. Kwame, you send me a burning, you give me a kosi baby. Still, galamsey no koso. And we are still doing this the same approach. The same approach, Kwame. Obian who are go and read history. Or my bien who are ko galamsey, ese China for that. Or my bien who. The reason why I today China, and what and obian to be mining China, and they say, their law no say, oh my near, you be grow kumfo. Why can't we, Abi Kwame, do the same thing in this country?
Human rights laws,
Human rights laws, be. Human rights laws, be Kwame. Okay, okay, your Criminal Offences Act no. Adia a warranty, see a be bro be kumfo. Ebidi was say a person who intentionally causes death by unlawful harm shall be liable to suffer death. A person who causes, Jamaican watch I say, what is causes? Underline the word causes. Let us interrogate the word causes. Obi onu no what body tibu ponum say ade we ya wudro. I would draw private me kunipa. But what ya kugu river be say, Mimi Jimmy Sika na me rene me makodi. Obi konum say so no mu. Say the parade ti dey so trust. That is what the law says. The law says talk about the treason. And will be a kunipa. Kwame. Will be the show at the sinus a kuku show mama. Will be a fibroid. Will be a cancer. Cancer so health insurance and cover. And to win the year, who will move on Kwame? The American watch I say, and get to me a medical law say, will be a bag and I'm saying, you will grow kumfo. See, yes, I do it for 5 years, Kwame. Just 5 years. Would you hold the shake up?
All right.
Kwame, you see, the only way that we can curb this situation, because we are meant to understand, say, and comfort Jubilee House, and the galamsey, a kufu at the time, and the sound for the kufu is no more there. The Jubilee House, no power, association, we blame politicians for nothing because at the end will be involved. A so for politicians will be a kahubi. So the only way you bet me yes I will say as a Kwame ye kum for ya amend the law no, the constitutional review, whatever, the Criminal Offences Act no kwame, ya amend the law to say the China for aye no a, ya zilo, we ya ye bro kufo, with the contaminated paper crowd to river. Let's say who say contaminating a kwame, yet we find $100,000.
Okay.
See, I need sadina. Yeah, they are coming. Wow, you bet you will be. You bet Casamana should excavator. Mofan Kosio, Yadi Koya Hawaii, later, Yadi Baya Quine, yes, suggested baby, yes, and that's how could the panel, no side of course side, politicians, way fast here, ye Jaway, I am for dear coming. We are going cycles and at your market time. Yen bua kumfo yenya nukumfo yenya publications yenya education yen family TV so wo mo ayati wo mo ayekobu o mu kumfo because Ghana obi ansan president bi ansan yeku obi ada after 1983 but ye bua nukumfo ne ye de kokosha condemn kwam ye ni na obi abada no so
me da say
obi abada no so ye de wa ho
me da say
so this is how it happened here. And in fact utie nsem na utimu se ampa Ghana ye di baby bi ye niema bi Jewra Akufo Addo aban na nado otiso ye kan galamsey asem galamsey ese oman galamsey ese oman ye kan ya enen kam ya kwese anye na nado netiso MPP aban afiso NDC aban enetiso but still na galamsey na ne yeka ho asem ensu a na esei asase a na esei enkofo ne manfudi a na esei no it's like still na it is in progress enti ye bisa se esiden ena abasa edien ena ntia amasa ne mawu etimi abasa abusafo this is the time the hypocrisy awose etwa so wadi ka cho se me for now I know say the me NDC ni me belong to the NDC party no but the issue here is adebi because na say nya me nye sabi me nye remote na makama no to monche until so be control me no I will what I will spit out the truth me kan no kware ebom NDC for say munya momentum if you got the nerves and the guts to criticize and advise on galamsey issues, we expect you people to make sure the galamsey issues in this country will be solved once and for all. Will be what? Solved once and for all. Yampe any explanation. Yera amabwa. In fact, a member of parliament. Anya fena ye pe book munsen sembiatie. You people should go on grounds and conform mo yes no. Munchi omo engum me I don't support see become no. A word here. Any sound clear-minded person will not wish dead for fellow. Inti no de ziga me no nya adwin. Say sentence you to death. No, I won't do that. Enumum e kan ho bi mabema nkofo asu, but we have other alternative for ebema nkofo asia bohu. Eni say ye chiwa enkoye say politician bi she chire enkoye say akwobi concession na wo yesu adwuma ne sa akwa no owo aban enti no obiba bigina wo yiw na at the end of the day no woni nam haye kuntan na wo san ye sad no e wo se etwa so ye chiwa say ye mo 8 years in jail e wo say wo serve with hard labor. Who serve with what? Hard labor. Who ye adwumadin in prison. Na who senses no then a recover na hu sampa. Se manhwe ye na se me pia bontin na me sanko ye se adwuma bi mo chimia na se akum for another 8 years. Na me life no me waste no in prison. Anti-justice in this country and akofa nsem wen na aba. Yetimichi Aisha Huang ena me no kase Aisha Huang eni kurum ha omo edine ko Ghana e omo de ko China pombre ko ankasa abaye we e wo sen ko mu jeli no Ghana ha oda prison for so many years ba ko kan o makase an obi man so nipa na Ghana ha no de bia enkofo ntokwan momu ko jeli omo wa buruchiri enkofo ntokwan e momu ko jeli omo wa buruchiri udin samfun wo Canada, udin samfun wo amukan say UK, udin samfun wo Omukan say nsi abaya ndin kwa de say hajia for you say hajia for whoever. When din say mfa ma omo ankwachi no. Omo anchina mfa na ntum e wa America. Enti ye do tum na so serve J terms we are with hard labor no more you. No more deported. That is how it's supposed to be. But I shall want the idea kwasi sendi sebi mwase ngogan ham. It's say na politicians binum tane chintino. And omudi ne fokuntu na se. And omutwi ni pie na omudi ne kwaye. Telling Ghanaians say or serve jail terms. Unknown say obi afase mwa ede ne ko eye ne kurum. Eti yeti Ghana ha na se sa nneema we keep on going na. Ebe den na oman no aiden afa ne ntoma pafra. Ebe den na oman ni justice will be served to everyone who deserve it or anyone who deserve it. It's about the time I will see you call it a spade a spade. It's about the time we need to tell the truth. It's about the time I will see you share the senior say catch us. Dia wo ye se bia buru se bia nyado e nkwase asem. You need to stop it. It Okatakyie Afrifa nsem a woka say e no kwese Okatakyie Afrifa o ye galamsey nsem e na oka ye na national security omochi na he should provide evidence. Me any problem. Anybody who fight galamsey loves Ghana. Obi oba na adwu so de ne nkwa beto no a fight galamsey no odo Ghana because Ghana yensu a say na no e be say generation the next generation of mobile no sem e no wa kwada obi sai say na no say enitiachia eninia ye ha. You see all these things are deformities from the hard what chemicals you use at the end say na ne de keka ho ari de mine no omo de mine anyeme. It is obi kan galamsey asem na say wi achi na akwachi no na say ni pan provide evidence na still na utata na then it is a hatred, it is a political witch hunting. And you know say mega means so nsem fonso. If Okatakyie Afrifa was arrested and detained because of making commentary about galamsey and he thinks he has evidence and he still provide it and tell and better still they hunt him there, no there. That is a political witch hunting. But Okatakyie Afrifa any evidence any sebi any adie bia ta chiri na obue na no nisi aduasa mienu make allegations no mochina ono nkasa sebi ne kwase na agine dwan. So that is it. It when is a mega media means so and some be as a being here. So when it's a media near me honoma, I will call it how I'll say it how it is. And that is how we develop a nation. That is how or my build or my anyway if I comment it on like it made in mommy share na for you be my main foul see na me mammy cheba for me fancy so in fin command United States of America New York and a mammy when yankopon yam mammy can see on Canada. I'm a be UK. Yankopon share me mammy Makacho century royal BTV eba abap yankone yanko subscribe royal BTV na me nim TV series eba yan subscribe na yen train na mammy no a movie will be premiere Jacko and the other big stars no omo intimi show na bibi intimi koso makraw bye bye.